Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Sweat Club. Before we get started, I do have a little note today. If you happen to have a block, you may need or prefer to use a block today. So maybe pop around your house, see if you've got one. I, for example, can also use this pillow, something that might allow you to lift up a little bit higher in the hand that kind of resembles a block also works. If you don't have a block and you've been practicing regularly, maybe this is a good opportunity to be like, it might be time to go buy a block because they're really cheap and they are useful in class. It's always good to prop ourselves up. We are not here to do ego yoga, right? We are just here to keep our bodies safe, have fun, move, and breathe. On that note, we are going to get started today in Shavasana. Yes, all the way lying down. Extend the feet long, palms face up. You're at home, so if you want to pad up, put a pillow under the legs, maybe even under the head. Take a deep breath in once you're there. And then open mouth exhale. Let yourself surrender down to the ground. One of the things I've noticed about my yoga practice is every time I get on the mat and just lay down, I can feel my nervous system start to regulate. It's almost like my body knows, like, oh, we're in that space again. We're doing that thing again. Notice if you feel a little bit of that too. Just as both your body and mind become aware that this hour is just for you. Our life is full of patterns, just like this yoga practice. Practicing yoga is a pattern, or you could call it a habit, that you've brought into your life. And maybe you're thinking, oh, I don't do it that often. That's fine too. There is no necessary daily pattern with yoga, right? It's whatever suits us. But creating patterns in life, habits that are healthy, actually help to bring us comfort. So before we move, tell yourself thank you for showing up, creating the habit, stepping back into this pattern. Another deep breath in. And exhale. Start to deepen the breath by drawing it through the nose, down into your low abdomen, pushing the diaphragm down, 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 seeing how much air you can draw into the lungs. And then as you exhale, same concept, but the opposite. Belly button will pull in and up. Exhale out the nose. Maybe you slightly constrict the back of the throat and begin Ujjayi breath. Take 5 breaths, equal inhale, equal exhale at your own speed. Changing the pattern of your breath. And if your mind starts to wander, bring it back to how expansive can I make this next inhale? And how empty can my lungs be at the bottom of the next exhale? When you finish your 5 rounds of breath, and we're all likely going to be moving at different speeds, you can make your way towards a happy baby, but try to continue the breath. So, not too fast, not too slow. In yin class, I might ask you to have a really slow breath. You'll notice in today's class, right? It will get quicker, but to start, feel free to settle into that relaxing, deep breathing for happy baby when you're there. And then option to invite movement into the pose, option to stay still. If you haven't already and your breath is so slow, I really admire you, but come meet us in Happy Baby just so we can go to the next part, which is going to be a twist. Come to center. And then bring your right knee into your chest. Extend your left leg long. You can release the heel down to the ground. Squeeze that knee in and then take it over to the left side, bumping the left hip under. So I know for some of us, this is not our most favorite pose ever, and that's fine. That means we're getting it out of the way early, right? Bring your arms to a T, but then push your left hand to the top of the right knee. So even if your knee is up, you're going to push the hand into the knee and then simultaneously gently push the knee up into the hand. So we're doing it a little bit different than our standard twist, right? Normally we relax, we chill, but instead, I want these two opposing actions to happen. Now notice your low back because we don't want to pinch anything. We don't want to hurt anything if you're deep in a twist. So just engage very slightly by pushing knee into hand, hand into knee, noticing how that makes the body feel. Breath in, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. With control, extend the left hand long, draw the right knee back up to center, and even out the hips. So both hips are on the ground. Your left leg's long. Then extend the right foot up to the ceiling. Straighten the leg as much or as little as you'd like. So knee could be bent, or foot is up towards the sky, toes curl back towards the face. Then see how close you can get your big toes to your forehead. It's not going to be very close. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to swap the legs out. In order to swap them, we'll just scissor kind of kick. So as you lower your right foot, can you raise your left foot? Maybe the leg is straight off the mat. Extend the right leg long, and then we're going to hold here, doing it in reverse. So left leg is high, toes are curling back towards the face. Ideally, leg is straight, but knee could be bent, right? We're just thinking about trying to extend. Then how close can you get the toes to your face? Straighten through the right leg, push the heel up to the sky, and breathe. Keep reaching and extending through the left leg for one more. Breath in. And then exhale, draw the left knee into the chest. Now you can take the hands around the knee for a second if you like, pulling that knee in. When you're ready, left knee goes over to the right side. Like I said, a pro tip, I always say bump the right hip under. Instead of just rolling onto the right hip, can you kind of lift that right hip up and scoop it under and then twist? It'll give you a little bit more range in the twist. Extend your arms first to a T, so the arms are nice and strong. Then just bend into your right elbow, place the hand somewhere on the top of that right knee or the right leg, or the left knee or left leg, sorry. It's always confusing in a twist. I'm like, what leg even is this? All right, now start to gently push the hand into the knee and the knee into the hand. Notice any areas of tension, right? Where does this feel like it's turning on for you? What muscles are being used? I'm asking you to engage really deep in a twist, which means you need to take care, right? It's not often you twist this drastically and then engage in it. But the reason we're doing this is because when you turn to grab something out of the back seat and you sneeze and then you pull a muscle in the side of your body, this is what will help prevent that, because we are training deep in this big twist, strengthening. So the next time you sneeze while you're reaching behind your seat, you don't pull a muscle. Breath in. All right, when you're ready, exhale back to center. Even out the hips, draw the right knee back into the chest, and then take happy baby one more time. Push the low back down to the mat, sway side to side. Inhale. And exhale back to center. Zip your legs together. Hands come behind the thighs, and we'll rock and roll up to a seat. But let's take like 5 rock and rolls. So maybe you start with a baby one. The first one's like you're barely rock and rolling, and then you can get a little bit more momentum. Eventually, maybe the last couple, the toes are up behind the head. If you're crazy flexy, you might even try and touch the floor behind the head for one more. I feel like we have one more. And then come on up to Navasana. Toes touch the ground if you like. Shoulders back, chest forward. Option to raise one foot, option to raise the other and hold. Also, you could extend. It's crazy. I've got a girl who's a dancer in my class, and you can always tell dancers because they're immediately like, or people who do a lot of Pilates, terrible. I hate it. I'm going to do it just because I should do things I don't like to do, right? Hold. 3, 2, and 1. Bend into the knees. Feet come to the ground. Extend your right leg long, left foot in. We're going for a nice, easy twist. Right hand high. And then exhale, take the right hand to the outside of the leg, twist. Left hand comes back, fingertips point behind you. Option 1, stay here. Now, in a twist, our spine shouldn't be rounding. It's spinal extension as you pull the chest forward and then twist and look back on the neck. You might want to take that elbow to the outside of the knee. You could extend the arm a little bit. But what I care about more is not what this arm is doing, right? It is more what the spine is doing. So how can you get more space between your vertebrae as you lengthen? Twist. Right foot is nice and engaged. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Again, inhale. Exhale back to center. Inhale the hands high, just like we did before when we were laying down. You're going to swap the feet out without letting one of, let's see. Yeah, just swap them out, right? Try to lean back. Nice. There we go. Yeah, you got it. Perfect. You can bring the knee in a little bit if you need to. Think about the butt kind of pushing back rather than the pelvis rounding, right? Inhale, hands high. Exhale, you'll twist over to the right side, wrap the left hand around, right fingertips come to the ground behind you. They could be here, they can be here. All that matters is spinal extension before you exhale, twist, gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Can you get a little bit deeper? Last time, breath in. And exhale back to center. Inhale the hands high. Navasana. Maybe you're here. This is terrible. This is the most terrible. 3. Pick your poison. 2. Poison is medicine in this case. 1. Breath in. Exhale. Feet come down. Maybe option 1 is you're just going to make your way to tabletop. Option 2, if you're working on trying to get to tabletop with no hands, you could roll over the shins, plant the hands on the ground, and then step back to tabletop pose. All right, we've twisted side to side. Now we're going to check the spine as you take the spine in the other direction. As you drop the belly, roll the shoulders back, gaze high. Cow. I always think moo in my head when I do this. Exhale, tuck the chin and round, cat. Again, inhale, belly drop, shoulders back, cow. Exhale, tuck and round. Press into the hands, cat. Inhale, drop the belly, shoulders back. Exhale, round. Back to center. Walk your knees together, wiggle them close so they're right by one another. Then extend your right leg back. Push through your right heel. So the goal in this pose is I want you to feel a stretch in your calf. Move maybe left or right, trying to find that stretch and then stay where it feels really good. Should be kind of one of those things where we're like nurturing our own body, right? What does the body want? What part of the muscle is tight? Breath in and out. Option to stay here, or inhale, you might rock the weight forward, lift the leg up. Now, if you're lifting the leg, automatically you might be like, look at my gorgeous leg lifted and back bend, but this isn't it, guys. This is tucking the pelvis and then trying to lift. Ideally, we're working on hip extension. So if you tuck the pelvis and pull your core in, you shouldn't be able to lift the leg that much further back past your butt unless you are crazy flexible and you've done a lot of dancing in your life. Breath in and out. Keep extending. Inhale. Exhale, release. Right foot down. Inhale the left foot back, and then same thing. Move side to side. Find a nice, good stretch. I even like for this one, I want to walk my hands forward a bit more so I can really get into it, push into it more. There are no rules. Option to stay here if you're like, yeah, Madison, I'm digging this, or come back to center. Lift the foot up, and then notice you're going to probably be in a bit of a back bend automatically. Think about tucking the pelvis, pulling the core in, then try to lift and extend the foot. Your palms are glued to the ground, fingertips strong. Extend through the leg. Breath in and out. Keep trying to lift. Inhale, but don't let go of that core. Exhale. Once more. Inhale. And then exhale, knees together. Now walk your hands one handprint forward and look, make sure your pointer fingers are pointing forward, not your middle fingers. So pointer fingers are pointing at the top of the mat. Curl your toes under, lead with the butt and push yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Once you're there, you're welcome to pedal through the feet or remain still. Take one more breath in, sink the heels down as you exhale. Inhale, look forward. And then tiptoe your way one toe at a time to the top of the mat. Make your way into Uttanasana, forward fold. Option to keep the knees bent here. You can start with a bend. One of the things too is I like to begin with a bend in class, and then eventually I start to straighten while trying to pull the chest towards the thighs. So remember, as we warm up, no rules. Plant your left hand in front of your feet so you make a triangle. Your left hand is the top of the triangle. So look at your feet, your hand. Nice triangle. Then bend into your left knee. Inhale your right hand high, twist open to the side. Option to have a block down here to make this a lot easier. Option to maybe have your opposite leg bent as well. Breath in. Exhale, twist open. Inhale once more. And then exhale, sweep it down. Just swap the hands out. Right hand goes where the left hand was. Bend into your right knee nice and generously, and then reach the left hand up. Twist. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can get a little deeper into the twist. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center, straighten the leg, and exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your butt back, take your arms wide, press all the way through a chair, come to standing, look high, reach the hands above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then hands by your side, Tadasana, close your eyes. Just getting used to being standing. So we talked about patterns in class, our pattern of our yoga practice, our habit. We also have patterns that maybe aren't serving us, patterns that we would like to get let go of, habits we would like to let go of. So I invite you, if you've got something you're working on, to think of that now. Because today's class, we're going to change some of the patterns in class. We're going to rewire the brain, think a little differently, which you can absolutely do in your daily life. So what pattern do you want to change? What habit do you want to let go of? Breath in and out. All right, blink the eyes open, walk the feet together. Shift your weight into your left leg, and then step your right foot back. So it's gonna be a pretty generous step with the heel on the ground. We're coming to warrior one. So all the time in class, IQ crescent, because I prefer it. But guess what? It shouldn't be what I prefer. We gotta break these habits, right? Come to warrior one. Your right toe will point up to the right-hand corner of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Pull your left hip back in space and then sink down into the front knee while trying to keep your back leg straight. If you feel wobbly, step the feet a little bit wider, then reach the hands up towards the ceiling. Warrior one. Inhale. Exhale. Now, as you do this, push the right heel down. Inhale. Feel a stretch on the back of the calf, the back of the leg even maybe. Exhale. Again, breath in. And then exhale, hands come to heart center, look forward, lean in one big movement, step your feet together. Full cycle of breath. On your next breath in, step your left foot back. Easy does it, not too wide, right? And then left toes point to the top left-hand corner of the mat. Once you're there, hands come to the hips to start. Bend into the front knee. I'll step back here, so bend into the front knee. Pull the right hip back in space. So the hips are not open like warrior two, they're closed. Sink down, push into the left heel, then extend the hands high. Breath in. And out. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. And then look forward, step your feet to the top of the mat. One big movement, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Take a few breaths, gazing at the front of the room. Inhale. Exhale, shift your weight into your left leg. Again, step back. This time, step a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Make it a bigger step as you come back to the mat, making our way to Trikonasana. So for triangle pose, this is different. Step will be wider, not as wide as warrior two, between warrior one and warrior two. Your hips will be open. Left foot points forward, back foot points and angles in slightly. This will vary for all of us. So for triangle pose, bump your hip back, feel the hip shift to the back of the room. Then reach your left hand forward, tick-tock forward, and come to your Trikonasana triangle pose. So you might be here. You might be here. You might be here and start to extend. You could also have, remember that friendly block that I spoke about, could be on the inside of the foot so you feel supported. Now, the reason we're not going through a flow yet today is because I really want to break these poses down so once we move through them quickly, you feel confident. In Trikonasana, your side body is lifting up. So really think about turning your right side of your torso open, holding with the left side of the body, and then extend the arms high. Push the feet away from each other. Breath in. Breath out. Keep pushing the feet away. Inhale. Exhale. Great work. Once more. Inhale. And then, exhale, bend into the front knee, wiggle your foot back slightly and come to warrior two. Might feel like a bit of a relief, which is strange in warrior two, right? We have slight external rotation in the back thigh, look forward off the front of the hand, bend into that front knee until ideally your knee is in line with your ankle. If your knee is going past your ankle, that just means you need to step wider. challenge yourself a little bit. Find your breath. Look off the front of that hand, gaze. This is something I feel like Warrior 2 I could do before any challenging meeting because I'm gonna be like, yes, I am a warrior. Feel the power, feel the strength in the pose. 3, 2, 1. All right, inhale, look forward, and then exhale, lift your back heel off the mat, turn your hands forward and step your foot, step, 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 all the way to the top of the mat. So we're going through open hips to closed, step, step, step. Great, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in and out.
You want to go outside?
All right, and then extend, bring your hands on your hips. Switch your weight into your right leg. Big step, left foot comes back. How far can you step? Left foot back. Then we're coming to Trikonasana. So straighten the front leg, back toe is turned in, and then turn the hips open. So instead of closed, hips are nice and open. Now, bump that hip back. How far back can you get it? Bump, bump, bump. Reach with the right hand. Extend into your version of Trikonasana. You might be here, here, here. The main goal, push the feet away from each other as you rotate open through the left side of your body. Maybe gaze up at your left hand. Side body, if I were to tell you to lift this right hand, that's fine, because you should have little to no weight in this right hand. Instead, what's supporting you? All these strong muscles in your trunk and your core as you breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Again, stay lifted. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. Exhale, bend into the front knee. Lift up, Warrior 2. You'll need to wiggle your foot back, right? Widen the stance. Hips are still open. Bring the knee in line with the ankle. Gaze off your hand as the arms extend. If I were to come and touch your arms, nice and firm. Reach. It's almost like you're trying to grab something that you really want. Gaze, and then find that fierce energy, right? Yes, you are tough. Yes, you are strong. Breath in. And out. Inhale. Exhale. Stay deep in the knee. Once more, breath in. Exhale. Now turn the hips. You'll lift your back heel off the mat, coming almost to crescent and trying to hop, hop, hop as you close the hips forward, hands by your sides, top of the mat, Tadasana. And if it felt awkward, that's fine, it is. Don't worry about it. It's a big stance to go from back to front. Breath in and out. All right, inhale, sweep the hands up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. If you've noticed, we have taken our normal rhythm out of class and bringing it in a little bit. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, big bend in your knees, step back to plank or tabletop pose. Your option, knees up or knees down. What do we care about? Elbows move back as you lower slow. 3, 2, and 1. All the way to the belly. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra, no hands. Hug the elbows back. Exhale, stay here. Push the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale, lift higher. Exhale, stay here. How about a little bit more? Inhale, lift up. You can do it. I can't even talk anymore. Exhale, lower down. Great work. Hands plant, thumbs in line with your nipples, curl your toes under, lift your knees and thighs up off the mat if you're coming to plank. Otherwise, come to tabletop and then we'll press up strong and back, downward facing dog. Breath in. And a breath out. Inhale. Exhale. All right, inhale your right leg high. And then open the hip. So kick the foot towards the butt, open the hip to the side. For some of you, this might feel really fantastic. For some people, this might feel really awkward. Just notice in your body what you prefer, either hip or open or closed. Now, inhale, close the hip, extend the leg, look down at your right thigh and roll the thigh in. So watch the thigh actually roll in. Then try to lift the foot. This ensures that when I say closed, it has actually closed. Take another breath in. Exhale, take your right knee to your right tricep. Inhale here. And then step the foot to the outside of the hand, low lunge. You could have back knee up or down. It's totally up to you. So you're welcome to bring that back knee down, sink down into the hip, or keep it up. What we are working on, however, we will do no matter which pose you choose. So try to push your right foot to the top right corner of the mat without letting it move. Simultaneously, try to push your left knee or your left heel to the back left-hand corner of the mat. So essentially what I'm telling you to do is zhoosh these out this way. Is this a good example? Yes, does that make sense? Push the right foot to the top right-hand corner, left foot to the back left corner or left knee. So ideally, we're engaging these muscles that we're going to need in today's peak pose, but also that you were using in triangle pose. So think back to Trikonasana. We're pushing the legs out away from one another for stability. Hold here. 3. Keep pushing. 2. 1. Take a breath in. Option to connect the knee to the tricep and lift the foot and push up and back, downward facing dog. Feet might come a little bit closer together if you like. Inhale the left leg high, and then exhale, immediately open the hip, kick the foot towards the butt. Maybe you even make it dramatic. You could look under the left armpit if you're feeling like you really want a full body stretch. Inhale once more. Exhale, close the hip, extend the leg, look at your left thigh, roll the left thigh in as much as you can. I'm looking at my thigh like under my glasses and it's so blurry it barely even looks like a leg. I'm so blind. Okay, take another breath in, push into your hands. Exhale, step the left foot to the outside. Actually, no, we had knee to tricep, so hover for a second, then you can step the left foot. Maybe you're just pausing, saying hi. Okay, now that you're in this big lizardy lunge, you can either lower the back knee down or knee up. Either way, try to push your left big toe to the top left corner of the mat. So think about pushing it without letting it move. Your right big toe or your right knee will push the back right corner of the mat. What this does is it encourages, one, we're getting into a deeper stretch, right? We're sinking down, but we're also engaging in the stretch. Your arms are straight and strong. Your legs are firing up. All those little muscles in your hip flexors, your groin. Push and hold. 3, 2, 1. Take a breath in. Connect the knee to the tricep. Maybe you lift your foot first. Up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward. Plank pose. Option to take the knees down, and we just do a nice little lower. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, maybe baby cobra, maybe full cobra, a back bend of your choice for a breath. And then exhale, we all lower back down. Why? So we can get strong arms that can lift us up. Option 1, tabletop. Option 2, lift the thighs first. Belly engages, push up to plank. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of the mat and fold Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your butt back, chair pose. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Now, option to stay here, but if you're really like, yeah, Madison, I'm enjoying the twist, you can start to twist over to the left side to start. So take a twist to the left. Maybe you hook the elbow on the outside of that knee. Maybe you extend the hands to fly. Remember, I don't care what you're doing with your arms, as long as you're lengthening through the spine and then twisting. So spine extends, lengthens, and then twists open. With every exhale, see if you can get a little deeper and hold. 3. Strong legs, you got it. 2. And 1. To center, stay in your chair and automatically just transition over onto the opposite side. Remember, you might want to take this kind of elbow to knee thing. For some reason, for me, that makes it easier. If I'm up higher, it's actually harder, right? So find the twist, extend through the spine, lengthen. Breath in. and out. You got it. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Inhale here. You can do it. Exhale to center. If you twisted, then inhale. Let's wall sweep our hands up. Come to standing. Oh, extend through the legs. Exhale, hands by your sides. Tadasana, close your eyes. Come back to your intention. What pattern are we rewriting today? If you've noticed, we're doing things out of order in class. And yet your body and mind adapt. Breath in. And a breath out. Blink your eyes open. Hands come to your hips. Shift your weight over into your right leg. Step your left leg back, warrior one, just like we did before. So the heel is on the ground. Check and be like, yeah, is my heel on the ground? Hands on the hips, turn the hips forward, bend into the front knee. So I'm going to give a few options. Option one, you hold here, extend in your warrior one, and think about what an awesome warrior you are. Try to gently tuck the pelvis. Option two, you might come forward, bring hands to heart center, lean, and try to twist in warrior one. Now, this is really challenging because when we twist, what happens is it closes our hips even more. And warrior one is a really challenging pose because the hips are closed. So see what you can do. You might be here twisting, right? Just notice what the spine wants to do. See if you can extend before you twist too much. Bend into that front knee and hold. 3, 2, yeah, 1. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, come right into warrior two this time. So we're doing warrior two first. You'll want to widen the stance slightly. So sink down into the front knee, extend. Option to stay. If you enjoy Hatha, if you want to stick this pose, you can stay. Otherwise, if you're craving a little movement, energy shift, you could inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Once more. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two, and then we will all move together by inhaling, straightening that front leg. Oh, doesn't that feel wonderful? Wiggle the back foot in, one wiggle. Toes turn in, hands to the hips. We're making our way toward Trikonasana, round one. We're going to do 2 rounds of this. So round one is just what we did before. Bump your hip to the back of the room, reach your right hand forward, extend, reach, reach, reach. Hand can come anywhere, inside of the thigh, calf, maybe up to the sky. You might gaze up to that top hand. If you're feeling really roomy today, you could grab for the big toe. But remember, your chest is not closed down to the ground. We're working on rotating the chest open, the hips open to the side. 3, push the feet away from one another, just like we did on the ground. 2, 1. All right, inhale, lift up, warrior two. And then exhale, straighten the leg. Turn the toes to the side of the mat. Between our rounds of Trikonasana, we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. Toes in, heels out slightly. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, chest up to the sky. Exhale, push your butt back, fold your chest forward, head hangs heavy. You can do whatever you want with your arms. So either hands to the hips, hands can come down to the ankles, maybe the ground. You can walk them back. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Rock your weight towards your toes. Keep the heels on the ground, but just notice when you put the weight in the toes, we get a little bit more room. Pull the belly button in. One more inhale. Exhale. Hands to the hips. Inhale, lift up halfway, maybe a micro bend in the knees. Exhale, stay. Inhale, lift up all the way. And then turn your right toe forward, coming to round two of Trikonasana. But listen carefully. We are setting up For our peak pose, this is it. It's a triangle variation. Wonderful, right? I'm not making you do anything too wild. Instead of what we're doing before, step your left foot out to the side slightly and turn your hips forward more. So it's almost like we are in our warrior one, which we've been doing all day, set up. Warrior one, mostly with a straight leg. Pull your right hip back. If you have a block, you might want to take that block and put it on the either inside of the right foot or, for the full version, the outside of the right foot. So you might want to stick that over right on the outside of the right foot. So pull the right hip back in space. Hips both point forward. Push into your left heel. Then inhale, extend your left hand forward. You might just stay here and work on twisting over to the right, or you could place that left hand down onto the ground on a block as you shift, pull the right hip back and extend the right hand high. I don't even know what hand is what. I don't know what is happening right now. But ideally, if I were to come around and if you were to look at my low back right now, I could balance a water bottle on my low back because my hips are turned forward slightly. So if this pose has not been accessible to you in the past, it's likely just because your hips were too open and it's too hard when it's open. So you can always close them. Take a few more breaths. Remember, any variation is good. You might be standing up completely and twisting. 3, 2, 1. Big sweep of the arms, bend in the front knee, lift up. Warrior 2. How did we even get here? I don't even know. Hopefully I can remember this. Then look forward, back heel off the mat, turn, step the feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. That was one side. Nice work. All right. We have quite the journey to get to the other side, and then we're going to lay down. So just if you feel moments of stress, of tension, of challenge, come back to your intention, right? You're just rewiring your body and your mind. Easy, easy peasy, right? Hands come to the hips. Take a breath in. Shift your weight into your left foot. Step your right foot back. Warrior one. So for warrior one, bend in the front knee, pull the left hip backwards, sink deep into the knee. Option one is to stay here. Inhale the hands high. Option two, hands can come to heart center. You lean and try to twist into your warrior one. So this is a really nice preparation for our triangle because the same action has to happen in the hips. Where the left hip pulls backwards, maybe you can connect the elbow to the knee. But the challenge here is to not let that right heel lift up off the ground, which my calf is like, what are you even doing? Why do you want to do this to me? And so you're not alone in that. Just listen to the calf. Try to get a good stretch and hold. 3. Breathe deep. 2. 1. Okay. Inhale. Come up. Sweep the hands up. And then in one big movement, make your way to warrior 2. To get to warrior 2, remember we widen the feet slightly. Now, if you love to sit, to stay, to breathe, stay in warrior 2. But if you're looking for a little movement, a little energetic breath, you can inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Once more, inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, warrior 2, gaze forward. Take a breath in, let's stay. Exhale. All right, inhale, straighten that front leg. Wiggle your back foot in. So this is triangle round 1 with the hips open. Your right toes point up slightly towards the top of the mat. Then bump your right hip back. Extend the left hand forward. You might have the block on the inside of the foot here, or you might have the hand here, 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 as you engage and lift up. Now push the feet away from each other. We're here for 3 slow breaths. So probably like 5 of what I'm doing right now. Try to slow it down. Two more breaths. Twist the side body open. One more breath. All right, inhale, lift up, warrior 2. Exhale, hands to the hips, turn toes in, heels out. a forward fold one more time. I'll give more options. If you like the fold we did, you could keep the hands on the hips. If you're craving a little shoulder opening, you could wrap the hands behind the back. Et voila. You could also take this with a little, or even reverse prayer. Find something that sounds fun to you. And then inhale, shoulders back, chest high. Exhale, push your butt back, lead with the chest, fold forward. If you've got the hands clasped together, try to keep the pinky edges of the hands together. I always like to just relax and make them like an open basket. And technically, I think that's a little lazy, but you know what? I'm going to be lazy today. No, I'm trying to rewrite new memory pathways. Okay, new goals. Keep them together. A few more breaths, team. All right, if you have the hands up and back, you could release them down to the ground or bring them to the hips. To inhale, lift up halfway, baby micro bend in the knees. Exhale, stay. Inhale, lift up all the way. And then exhale, we have round 2 of our Trikonasana. And you will take your, I hope it's the left foot, pretty sure it's the left foot forward. This time, step your right foot out to the side a bit more. So we're turning the hips closed, right? So give yourself like railroad tracks, nice big space. Close the hips. Then pull the left hip back. So hands under the hips, big shift in that left hip. If you have a block, you might want to put it on the outside or the inside of that left foot. You probably know this time what side of the foot you might want to have it on since you've been here before. Inhale the right hand forward, reach the chest forward, push your butt back, and then exhale, twist and bring that right hand either on the block. It might be here on the thigh, right? It doesn't have to be a big twist. You might even twist open in this direction and just hold in this variation. If you can, the full version of the pose is to bring the right hand to the outside of the left foot. Once I get low, I really try to take a big shift in that left hip flexor or the left hip, right? It's almost like when you get a bit lower, you get a bit more room to pull the hip back. Maybe you take your left hand and bring it to the back of your low back and just see if it's flat and try to figure out if it's not, what can I do to flatten my low back and make it so I could balance something on it so the hips are even. Take a few more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, straighten through the right leg. Inhale. Exhale. One more. You got it. Breath in. Okay, exhale, bend in the front knee. Inhale, lift up, big spin. Warrior 2, basically, just for a second. And then you'll lift the back heel off the mat, just like you did before, passing through crescent in one big step. Boop, top of the mat, hands by your sides. Tadasana. Great work, everyone. That was it. We're going to lay down now. We're making our way down to the mat. So inhale, sweep your hands up, look up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, lower your knees down to the mat. Now, maybe you bring your butt back to seat on your heels. You are going to come to a seat without using your hands. How are you going to do it? I don't know. You're a wizard. Maybe if you're not ready to do that yet, you can try and use just barely a finger as you kick the butt around. Extend the feet forward. Try to walk your feet to the top of the mat once you're down there. You can just kind of wiggle up to the top. And then we'll Pilates roll down. Pull the belly button in, round through the spine, extend the hands forward. As you do this, you are going to transition straight from this Pilates roll into lifting the legs and come into happy baby. Boop. Nice. Again, you have that option to move, stay still. We've done a lot of twisting today, so I want to reassure you we are done twisting. And instead, I'll have you come back to center. Bring your heels down towards the ground. Bridge pose will be how we will finalize this movement in the spine. Palms come down by your sides. Option to take the block under the low back in a supported bridge, or you can just lift the hips up to the sky, any amount. It's the end of class, So you can go crazy if you like, but if you're already starting to feel like you're ready to surrender, maybe you just make this a little bit of a lift of the hips off the ground. Listen to your body and take a few more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hips down, draw the knees in towards the chest. And maybe you can put the hands on the knees and give yourself a little low back massage by making circles with the knees and kind of guiding that with the hands. If that doesn't feel good, you can just give the knees a squeeze in, hug, pull in, a little bit of compression. Rock side to side on the low back in that variation. All right, keep your left knee into your chest. Reach your right leg high. It can be any amount. It could be here, here. Bring your right hand to the back of your right thigh to support your leg and just do an ankle roll. So a big ankle roll one direction, telling our ankles, great job after all that work. And then when you've done it one way a few times, you can take it in the opposite direction. And if you're finding that when you ankle roll, your whole leg is moving, try to bring the awareness just into the ankle. Don't rotate through the thigh. All right, then let's swap it out. Left hand comes behind the left thigh for support. You can keep the right hand on the right knee too. And then ankle roll. Maybe it sounds like you're making popcorn. My ankle's cracking a little bit. Once you've taken a few in one direction, move to the other direction. Making an effort not to move the leg, just the ankle. Back to center, bring both knees into your chest. Lift your head up, wrap your arms around your shins, make yourself into a tiny little ball. Maybe you can even bring the forehead towards the knees. Hold 3, 2. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, explode, extend out into Shavasana. Ugh, about time. Wiggle the hips to ensure the feet and the legs are relaxed. Tuck your shoulder blades under so you've got length in the neck. Palms can be face up or face down, or even above your head if you prefer. I have one student who always likes to put her arms above her head, and that's fine too. Once you're there, allow your eyes to close. Take a deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Shavasana. Our lives are full of patterns, full of habits. And it's up to us to decide what patterns we would like to repeat. What patterns are serving us and making our lives better. And what patterns we are ready to say goodbye to. So say goodbye now to whatever your intention was, releasing that pattern. And even though patterns can be quite stubborn, over time, we can change them. Inhale. Exhale. Reawaken your body with small movements. And then gradually allow those movements to grow larger. Maybe you reach the hands above the head, stretch, point the toes, move left and then right. And then you can draw one knee in towards the chest and then the other. And roll over onto your favorite side using your arm as a pillow in fetal pose. Taking a moment to recognize the transition out of the practice, out of the lessons for your body and mind, and into a new day. When you're ready, press yourself up to a comfortable seat, facing the sound of my voice. And then you can either bring the hands together at heart center or two hands over the heart, whatever feels best for you. Inhale your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, slide them down your back and bow your chin in gratitude. Maybe put a smile on your face. Breath in and out. Inhale, lift your head back up. Blink your eyes open. Thank you all. Fantastic work on this lovely day. As always, if you have questions, please reach out to me. Let me know. I love to chat about yoga. Otherwise, I will see you next week for the Sunday Sweat Club. Thank you all. Bye.